Welcome to the Inside97 podcast.
Welcome into Inside 97. My name is Will, and I'm joined by Nicki, who's a fellow build specialist. And this week's edition of Inside 97, we're going to walk through two of our newest themes. We're really excited to roll these out. They're just a week old. NOLA and Jeter are our new themes, and we're going to go over all the things that make them a little bit different than our current themes, what they're going to offer down the road, and some functionality within those themes that will go a long way as a foundation to set up some releases down the road. I appreciate you joining me today, Nicki.
Anytime, Will.
Well, you were a part of the process early on, going through QAing a lot of these things regarding the themes. So I thought you'd be a perfect fit to bring on this week. And really to start things off, what are the differences between NOLA and Jeter right off the bat that you can think of versus some of our other themes, whether it be Dallas, Buffalo, some of the other older themes? What would be the biggest differences that stand out to you between NOLA and Jeter and our other themes?
Well, I think the most exciting thing that is different from anything that we've had before with these two is the opportunity to build on them in ways that are a little bit more efficient than what we were working with before. So a lot of the background software that goes into NOLA and Jeter actually allows you to take different designs and features from themes that you know and love and kind of plug and play them into your own fully designed layout. It also is going to give us the opportunity to release new sections for home pages that are going to allow us to branch out into more specialized industries and even just vastly different industries than we've ever had the chance to do before, in ways that are going to take less resources on our end and also make it so that we can have it come out much faster and easier for everybody around.
For sure, and I'm going to take a second to kind of share this so everybody can see a lot of the stuff that we're going to be referencing throughout this. And from what you can see right off the bat, this is Jeter. A lot of these sections obviously are customizable to an extent. We're going to dive into that a little bit, but they are, even from just a color scheme perspective, we're able to do a lot of different things with these themes through the software like Nicki was talking about, that really, even though a lot of our themes really perform well, there's being in a template system, there are limitations that frankly these themes don't have nearly the same restraint towards. So obviously there are things that we like to keep in check in particular that we believe will perform well from an SEO perspective, but that was Jeter. Of course, this is NOLA, and it's their kind of combinations of the best of both worlds, like Nicki had mentioned, a real mix of what we've seen perform well to those themes that we already have in hand. And then, of course, these will be expanding on this as well. So kind of jumping into the customization of these two, what can be changed, what can be swapped out, what would you recommend people adding overall just between Jeter and NOLA in particular?
Well, Jeter and NOLA have their two very specific differences. I think that depending on which one you decide to start out with is going to reflect what things you actually want to highlight about your business. For example, Jeter does not have the same location section with that map at the bottom on NOLA. But at the same time, it does allow for some of your services or your programs to be highlighted in the vast quantity that they might be on the home page. So you can see up top where that carousel goes through all of your programs. While the example only has 3, but all of your programs or services could be highlighted on the same page. This way, especially if you're in a martial arts school that specializes in several different disciplines, you can actually highlight that you do have that expertise and you can reach out to a community that's a little bit larger than what we've been able to do before. On the other hand, like I was mentioning with NOLA having that location section at the bottom with the map, it allows for especially people, in my mind, when I'm thinking is fitness facilities that have regular fitness classes, but they also have things like open gym hours. You can take this section and you can customize it to show that you don't just have one opportunity for people to sign up for. They can also come to you for a more flexible schedule or anything like that. I think that NOLA is also a really fantastic option for people outside of the fitness and martial arts industry. So that way they can show, one, where your office is located, if you're maybe something in the financial business, or if you happen to have an HVAC business that allows for extra hours outside of regular work days, you can take this opportunity to show that off. On top of what is already on these examples, we will be in the future releasing a few additional things to take into consideration, things like long-tailed keywords, and maybe highlighting a new program that you haven't had before, or a new service that you haven't had before that you want to draw attention to. Those are just some of the thoughts that we are developing currently.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is, while our other themes have a lot of the things that we're working on, have dedicated pages to them, things like that, NOLA and Jeter are going to be getting specific updates that are going to be able to be enhancements to the homepage that other themes just, quite frankly, just aren't getting. NOLA and Jeter are going to be getting those dedicated sections. And while you did mention, the location section, technically, those can go on Jeter. But it's best served for NOLA from what our SEO specialists have kind of done the research on, what would suit it best. If you were really set on needing to have it, but you just like Jeter, we could certainly accommodate it for you. We could add it. We just, really kind of set up these, we call them recipes in-house, that we really kind of keep up with, our SEO specialist combed over. And for NOLA and Jeter right off the bat, the basic recipe that we use is really what we believe will perform the best. Without being too distracting, adding too many sections, and kind of muddying up that homepage. We want it to still be a smooth experience where you're getting the customization that you want, but also not bogging down a lot of homepage content to hurt conversion from any aspect.
Yeah, you're right with that, Will. There are a lot of things that we've already taken into consideration as far as what works on other themes to kind of lay these out in the best way that we can possibly imagine that they would work. Of course, if we do find with upcoming research on how these analytics come through, that we weren't fully correct in our assumptions, then we'll switch things up and we'll let you know. But as of right now, NOLA and Jeter both are laid out to have a pretty fine, or a pretty finessed section of layout, order, and just content in general to make sure that we're getting as much SEO as possible, but not being too busy.
For sure. And one of the biggest examples that I know people are going to really notice right off the bat, one of the big differences between the two that when we first rolled them out that I really noticed was, an example of that, not trying to muddy things up for sure, is the examples of the program pages or the program excerpts here are a little bigger, a little wordier, because we use the full excerpt text here. And we list 3 there, just like we do on most of our other sites, following that rules of 3, not trying to muddy it up too much. So there's not so much text on the homepage, for example, on NOLA. We don't use a traditional About Us section like we do on Jeter. As you see on Jeter, we do have this with the carousel. So we're still kind of following that rules of 3, but you're only seeing 3 at a time, which is obviously a good thing. But then we have this About Us section. Again, that does follow a thing that, if you really liked NOLA, it's certainly something that we could add. But of course, same rules apply. We won't, what converts the best, we'll certainly adapt down the road. Like Nicki said, if we see that it would be advantageous to add those separate sections there. So we kind of touched on it a little bit. We're looking to add sections to this in particular. What are a couple that we want to unveil right off the bat that we know are in development for adding these to Jeter and NOLA?
Well, I did kind of allude to them a second ago, but the 2 that we're working on right now that are closest to being released would probably be one section that would work like an FAQ section, but it's to address things like long-tailed keywords. So instead of looking for martial arts training near me, it's for people who are looking for can I get my child involved in martial arts? So addressing those long-tailed keywords that aren't necessarily addressed by just including martial arts in a sentence. Similarly, we'll also be releasing sometime very soon that section that I was talking about, being a way to highlight a new program or service in a way that doesn't necessarily overlap or overshadow your kind of bread and butter, as we like to call it, but it does put it on the home page in such a way that people are going to focus on something new and something exciting that you're bringing to your business. Those both are, like I said, in production currently, but again, one of the really exciting things about the way that we've set these up now is that we're planning on developing sections like that continuously, whether it be a new section like an FAQ or like a highlight reel of your new service or program, but we'll also be redesigning each individual section more, so that way there are more opportunities and more diversity amongst the themes, even if you are still on the same recipe.
Awesome. And so say that I want to switch. You've sold me right off the bat. I want to go ahead and switch. What do I need to do?
Well, depending on where you are in your process, you either need to get in touch with our support team, which is just support@97display.com, or if you're still in onboarding or in build, you can get in touch with me, Will, or Mike, whoever your build specialist is, and we'd be happy to walk you through the process.
Yeah, definitely. And we do have a wait list that we're working through to get you added to that list. Just reach out to us. Of course, you can comment on this video down below, whether it's on YouTube on the channel or on the Facebook group where this is posted. Just feel free to comment. We can definitely get you involved and get you on that list. Just let us know if you do want to go ahead and switch. You've already kind of made the decision. Just let us know which theme you want, because they are different. And we certainly don't want to, make that decision for you. We want you to pick. So you just go ahead. You can comment which theme you want, and we'll reach out and we can get you switched over as well.
And I don't want to forget this. This is actually one of our new premium themes. So at the end of the year, this will be a $100 theme switch. Right now, we are releasing it for free to anybody who wants to sign up for that wait list. So I would definitely jump on it now instead of waiting, because it's really exciting and I definitely want everybody to be involved.
Yeah, and we know it's going to perform well. It's kind of the best of, all the worlds in terms of our themes and in terms of the things that are going to be coming out with it. It's really a combination of a lot of different things that we know are going to perform well. So you're exactly right. Jump on this opportunity now. Go ahead and comment. Even if you're on the fence, you just want to check how it looks, we can definitely switch you over. Again, it is free. If for some reason you didn't like how it looks when you actually saw it, how it is once we flip you over, you can let us know and we can flip it back. But now is the time to do that, definitely, for sure. So you don't have to pay the setup fee before the end of the year. You're exactly right. Well, I definitely appreciate you spending the time with me, Nicki. It was a really thorough walkthrough of these. Again, if you're super interested in these, you want to flip over, comment on the video, reach out to us. If you're in, like Nicki said, if you're in onboarding or you're in build, reach out to your build specialist, whether it be myself, Nicki, or Mike, and we'll get you on the right track in build and onboarding. And then if you are out of onboarding and you're a client that's been live for a little while, support at 97 Display will get you covered. I appreciate it, Nicki.
Anytime, Will. It was great talking to you.
Awesome. And that will wrap things up for this edition of Inside 97. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.